We go to chapter 28, environmental and ethical issues. So when we talk about environmental and ethical issues, we're talking about human relationship with the environment and human business relationship with the environment. That's what we're talking about, the moral aspect of it. So let's just go down and see what they got. How business activity can impact on the environment. Consider these two statements made by different factory managers. Manager A, I know that my factory pollutes the air and the river with waste products, but it's very expensive to use cleaner methods. We make a profit from making cheap products and these are what consumers want. Manager B, we recently spent $10 million on new low energy boilers that produces 90% less pollution than the old ones. We now recycle 75% of our waste. Consumers prefer businesses that are aware of their social responsibility. Business activity aims to satisfy customers' demand for goods and services, but it often has an impact on the environment. The environment means our natural world. So, Manager A and Manager B. When you consider Manager A doesn't care about the environment. It cares about selling. And based on the fact that it thinks about consumers too. And because on his own aspect, consumers want affordable prices. So he cares about selling goods that are affordable for consumers. But in what? In the detriment of the society. Did you get it?
Yeah.
For Manager B, yeah, using what he wants to use brings about increase in cost. But at the end of it all, he said consumers are conscious and aware of businesses that are socially responsible. So his own objective is social responsibility. Yeah. Do you understand? So for the first consumer, his objective is different from for the first manager, his objective is about sales maximization, revenue maximization. Yeah, no, revenue maximization.
Okay, yeah.
For consumer, for the manager, revenue maximization. But for the other manager, he's thinking about social responsibility as an objective. Yeah. So they have conflicting interests. Yeah. So here are some examples. Okay, so whatever the situation might be, both of them think about consumers, but one think about consumers at the detriment of the environment. Yeah. The other think about consumers based on the fact that the environment should be a cleaner or a healthy one. Yes. I think it's clear. Yeah. So let's just go down. These ones are examples. Okay, now argument A, argument B. Business should produce goods and services profitably and not worry about the environment. Businesses have a social responsibility towards the environment, and this can benefit them too. But that's it. Okay, now what they are bringing us to is to understand the case for businesses to just worry about profitability and consumer revenue. Yes. Instead of worrying about the environment. So business A doesn't have social responsibility, but business B has it. So let's see how it works. Protecting the environment, it can be expensive. Reducing waste, recycling waste, reducing waste, recycling waste, and reducing polluting smoke at all cost business money, and this reduces profits. Mm-hmm. So the argument against being socially responsible is that if a business is socially responsible, it is expensive to be socially responsible because it reduces your profitability. That's the reason why business A is saying it doesn't care about the environment. That's his own argument. So firms might have to increase prices to pay for environmentally friendly policies. Another argument in support of not being socially responsible is that it is expensive to get equipment that are that are environmentally friendly, or it is expensive to comply with policies that are environmentally friendly. This third one, this could make firms non-competitive and they could lose sales to businesses perhaps located in other countries that are not environmentally friendly. The third argument in support of not being socially responsible is that when you're socially responsible, your cost of production increases. And if your cost of production increases, you will be uncompetitive because prices increases. Consumers might not want to buy from you. That's one point. And the second one is that if this continues, we might even take our business away from your country to countries that do not care about being environmentally friendly. Do you get the point there? And lastly, Consumers will buy less if they have to pay higher prices. So if we have to be environmentally friendly, if we have to be compliant to being environmentally friendly or to be socially responsible, if we have to pass the price along to consumers, they might not be willing to buy, which is not good for us as a business. So that's their own argument against being socially responsible. I think the point is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So we check on the support for socially responsible.
2 points.
2 points. There are other 2 points. Okay, I will check. Okay, it's down. Okay, if pollution is a problem, then government should pay to clean it up. So they are saying that, oh, if you think pollution is the problem, it's the responsibility, it's social. So it's social, so it should be the responsibility of government.
Yeah.
That's the point they're making there. And the last one, some business owners claim there is not enough proof that business activity is doing permanent damage to the environment. So what is the statistic? How do you think we are the one damaging the environment? What are the evidence to show that? The problem about this statistic is that government enterprise or government ministries are also inefficient, because if they are efficient, they'll be able to pinpoint firms that are doing this. So not everybody.
Like fines.
Yeah. First, they need to work on their own efficiency to be able to statistically or bring up data that will back these things up. It's a theory that, oh, the businesses are polluting the air. So they should come up with statistics, data that will back it up.
Okay.
So that is the argument there. Is it clear now? So we're going to argument that businesses have a social responsibility towards the environment because it can be beneficial. So here we want to talk about reasons why businesses should be socially responsible. First, global warming and global pollution affects us all, and businesses have a social responsibility to reduce these problems. So for global warming and pollution, it's a social cost. So it affects virtually everybody. And when we link it to who causes it most, it's the businesses. So businesses should be responsible. At least they owe us the duty to reduce it.
Yes.
That's the first argument. The second one, using scarce natural resources which are non-renewable, such as rainforest timber, leaves less for future generations and leaves less for future generations and raises prices. So what they're saying is that when we continue to use natural resources, what is going to be left for the generation that is next to come? So that means there is no sustainable development. That is the point. We call it sustainable development. So using natural resources means there's lack of there's no tendency for sustainable development. And if there's no sustainable development, it means those coming after us will meet nothing. That is the point they are making there. And prices will increase because then there will be scarcity. That's the second point. The third point. Most scientists and environmentalists believe that business activity can damage the environment permanently. For scientists and environmentalists, they believe business activity are the reasons why the environment is damaged. That's the argument. So they have to be socially responsible. The fourth one. Consumers are becoming more socially aware. They are increasingly demanding products from environmentally friendly businesses. And this can become a marketing advantage. So another argument in support of business being socially responsible is that customers are now aware. Now they have information about social responsibility. So they only want to deal with businesses that are socially responsible. So this might be a marketing strategy or a selling point for businesses that are socially responsible.
Yes.
The next one. If a business damages the environment, then pressure groups could take action to harm the business reputation and sales. So the next point here is that for businesses, there might be environmental businesses that damage the environment through the pressure group, like the trade union or other unions.
Yes.
These pressure groups can, destroy the reputation of businesses. So they can influence people's decision. They can influence people's decision against these businesses. And if they do that, it damages their image as a business. Is it clear? So that's about being socially responsible and the arguments in support of being socially responsible. We go to the concept of externalities. Most business activities, such as locating a factory or producing goods and services, lead to many different costs and benefits. It is important to distinguish between private costs and benefits and external costs and benefits. The following case study explains it. Well, we're not going to go through the case study. We're just going to, okay? Well, let's just read it. A business producing chemicals plans to open a new factory. It has chosen a site which it believes is the most profitable one. In coming to this decision, the manager has considered only the cost and benefits to the business itself. So the manager is considering both private costs and private benefits. So for the private costs, we have the cost of land, we have the cost of construction, labor cost, cost of running the plant when it has been built, transport cost of materials and completed products. For the private benefits, the money made from the sales of the chemical products. Unfortunately, the site chosen is near a housing estate. It is currently part of a park used by local residents. Waste products from the factory will be tipped into local rivers or quarries. The factory will create a lot of noise and fumes. The area is one with a high level of unemployment. People's income are below the national average. Before deciding whether or not to grant planning permission, the government will also consider the external cost and external benefit that is the impact on the rest of the society other than the benefits, the business itself. So this business wants to build a factory. So it has considered its private costs, the cost of land, the cost of construction, labor cost, cost of running the plant when it has been built, transportation cost of raw materials. These are all its private costs. Then it believes that the private benefit will be the revenue, the sales made from this factory as soon as the factory is built. Yes. But this is not going to be just a decision of the business. The business needs permission from government to be able to build that factory. So for government will not think about its private cost or benefit. Government will think about the benefit to the whole society and the cost to the society. That is where external costs come in. So before deciding whether or not to grant planning permission to the government, planning permission, the government will also consider the external cost and benefits. So why would government consider this? Because this is the responsibility of the government to take care of the society. So they will think about the external cost. Based on the analysis, waste products will cause pollution. That's an external cost. Smoke and fumes that will be as a result of that factory being there will cause damage to the health, yes, pollution to the residents. Then what about the external benefits? According to the note or the statistic, the environment has high rate of unemployment. So with setting up factory there, it means employment opportunity will be there. So they're going to create job opportunity. So the external cost is the waste that will be put into the rivers or to the quarries, and smokes and pollution that will take over the environment. But it also government has to also consider the social the external cost or the external benefit, which one is job creation. They don't have jobs yet. Majority of the people there, there's unemployment rate in that area. So with this factory being set up there, it means they're going to employ workers there. So job is being created, external benefits. Aside that, other businesses may move into the area to provide services to the chemical company. So new businesses might also start coming in there to sell business to businesses, yes, services, and that makes the environment to become developed. Yes. So that's another external benefit. Do you get it? Yeah. So for the external cost again, parkland cannot now be used by local residents. So the park will be turned to a factory. Mm-hmm. So local residents will not be able to use it. That's an external cost. Then the chemical factory will pay taxes. Government might increase spending on social projects such as education or healthcare. Mm-hmm. So as soon as the factory is being set, the parks, those green spaces becomes factory. But it's an advantage also for government. They will pay taxes. Taxes is a source of revenue for government. Mm-hmm. So if government gets taxes from these things, for this revenue, they might use it for infrastructure, they might use it for education, they might use it for healthcare. That's it. And there's another external cost, the noise from the factory. This will disturb neighborhood, especially when they work 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So government will try to give a value of all these costs and benefits. This is what we call cost-benefit analysis. So government will check, will compare and contrast Do we have more benefits than cost? Do we have more cost than benefits? Before government will take decision. That is what cost benefit analysis is about. Is it clear? So, as soon as this is done, they say, for example, what is the cost of losing parklands for children to play on? Estimates are made, and then the total cost and benefits of the decisions are added up. So, for private costs, we had private cost plus private benefits, or private cost plus external cost will give us our total social cost. So, we need to know the social cost. That means the cost to the whole society. Is it more of external or more of private? If it is more of private, then government might take decisions to like accept it. The benefits, is it more of private or more of social? If it is more of, is it more of private or more of social? If it is more of social, it means it is external benefit. So the government might take decision about that to accept it. Yes. Do you get it? Yeah. Any question about that? So if the total social benefit is greater than the total social cost, the scheme is likely to be accepted. That means there's no market failure. Yeah. So in as much as it is beneficial to the society, the government will approve it. Clear? Yes. Any question about that? So we go to sustainable development, right? Yeah. Okay. For sustainable development, I just have to explain what sustainable development is there. So I explained it already. Sustainable development means whatever we do as businesses, we must always ensure that the future generation are not disturbed. The future generation are also able to use what we are using. That is sustainable development. Yes. So whatever decisions we take, we have to put into consideration the future generation. We must not leave them with nothing. Yes. Is it clear? Yeah. So here they wrote. Sustainable development means trying to achieve economic good, but without damaging the environment and the society of the future generation. I think it's clear. Yeah. So go to sustainable development. What can businesses do? Sustainable development, we said sustainable development means whatever decisions we take to achieve economic growth, we have to put into consideration the future generation. That is sustainable development. So what can businesses do for sustainable development? One, use renewable energy. How can they use renewable energy? By fitting solar panels or buying energy that uses renewable sources such as wind or tidal power. So stop thinking about fuel. That is what they are talking about there. Yeah. Two, recycle waste. When you recycle waste, it means you are reusing those products. You are using water and other products that would have been wasted or dispatched as soon as they are done using. But now, instead of dispatching them or throwing them away to the trash, you use them back. You recycle them. That's the second one. The third one, use fewer resources. That is production method, which can be lean production. Find a way of minimizing resources. Find a way of reducing waste. That would also help for sustainable development. Yes. The fourth one, develop new environmentally friendly products and production methods. Maybe packaging. Start thinking about products that are environmentally friendly. Mm-hmm. Because in the course of doing that, pollution would reduce. And if pollution reduces, a lot of health resources will be, a lot of people will not be like falling sick, that government have to take care of health issues every now and then. So government will not be spending on those things anymore if what we use are environmentally friendly. Mm-hmm. So that those are the four they made mention, right? Yeah, those are the four things. So if a business wants to really maintain, or if businesses have to carry on with sustainable development, they have to do all these things. They have to recycle, they have to use products that are environmentally friendly, they have to find a way of reducing waste using lean production. Yes. And the last one is what? They have to stop thinking about using fuel, renewable energy, yes, wind, and so on. Is it clear? Yeah. So that's sustainable development. So we'll go to how and why businesses might respond to the environmental pressures and opportunities. We're going to how and why business might respond to environmental pressure and opportunities. So basically, we're talking about how businesses would take up the pressure, will have to, to succumb, to reach compromise based on pressures to be environmentally or to be socially responsible. Yes. So how can society make businesses give the environment a higher priority. There are three main influences. One, consumers. So for consumers, what would they do? Bad publicity is the bad news. So if a business is reported as destroying an important natural site or dumping waste in the sea, then many consumers will stop buying this product. And the increasing proportion of consumers are becoming concerned about the environment. So business obviously wants to sell goods profitably. If sales of a product fall because consumers think it's harmful to nature, then the business may have to quickly change its product or its production method. So the first pressure comes from consumers. Consumers are the king. So giving consumers that news that, oh, this business or those businesses, these kind of businesses, or these businesses are destroying our environment. They are not making our environment to be conducive. So this is not a news consumers want to hear, because consumer knows that if businesses do this, it also affects them. So as a result of that, they are conscious about it. So in as much as government is pinpointing certain businesses that they are not environmentally friendly, consumers might stop buying from them. And if consumers stop buying from them, then who do they want to sell to? So because there's no customer elsewhere than in this world, so in their community. So if consumers are angry about your attitude, about your method of production, then they won't want to buy from you. So the only thing you have to do is to readjust and go on to use those environmentally friendly methods, so that they can also come back to buy from you. So consumers can pressurize you to change your method of production to suit social responsibility. Then we go to pressure group. For pressure group, what do? They try to influence decisions. Not only even businesses, they influence decisions of government. So if they can influence decisions of government, not to talk much about businesses, they can influence government decision. They can make government to change their decision, not to talk about businesses. So they will do more. So pressure groups, they might tell businesses, they might tell consumers, they might tell people not to boycott your product. And if they do so, who are you going to sell to? Do you understand? They might even tell your employees to stop working. Do you understand? So based on these things, the pressure group can change your attitude. They can change businesses to be socially responsible. That's pressure group, because it can influence decisions. I think pressure group is clear. Okay. And the third one. What are the third one? We have pressure group. We talked about consumers, and the last one should be what?
The role of government.
Okay, government through legal controls now. Okay. Yeah, for legal controls. Yeah, government will come up with policies. So for government, they own the society. When governments feel like you are pushing them to the corner, they come up with a law. And when there's law, nobody is above the law. So when they come up with these legislation, these regulations, you going against it puts you in a bad situation. Do you understand? So government can make business activities illegal. For example, locating in environmentally sensitive areas such as national parks, dumping waste products into rivers or the sea. So whatever business activity businesses do, government can make them to become illegal. And then when they become illegal, that means businesses should stop doing it. Do you understand? Government will come up with laws that will make your activity to become illegal. So that means you must not do it. If you do it, it's against the law. And if it's against the law, it's illegal. So this is the way government will come up with controlling you as a business. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any question about that? Also, when aside government coming up with laws, government can also impose financial penalties on businesses, such as pollution permits. So for pollution permits, what does that mean? It means you are being given a license or permission to pollute air to some limit. So as soon as that limit is reached, you cannot further. So what you do is, if you want to continue polluting the air, you have to buy from other businesses that still have less, or that still have much that is unused. Do you guys what I'm saying about pollution permit here?
Yeah.
It's a permission for you to pollute air. But if you have to do it, you must not pass the limit. For you to pass the limit, you need to buy more pollution permits from businesses that still have much with them.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes.
So that's it. That allows the environment to be clean too. So these are reasons why, these are reasons which government or businesses can adjust their business method to community pressure or to business or to people's pressure. to make environments to be conducive for living. So we'll go on. Is that all about it? Down. Okay. So go to ethical issues now. So when we talk about ethics, ethics means the moral aspects, the principle to know what is right and wrong. That is ethics. So yeah, ethical issues a business might face. Should businesses always do the right thing? Should businesses always take decisions that are fair and moral? Should businesses ever? So, like I said earlier, ethical issues are basically the principle to know what is right and wrong. Yes. Should business continue to do this? That's the point. So they said, should businesses ever take or offer bribes to government officials or people working for other businesses, for example, to gain secret information? No. If this is happening, it is unethical. Should businesses ever employ child workers, even though it might not be illegal in some countries? No, it is unethical. Should businesses ever buy in supplies that have led to damage to the environment? For example, wood obtained from cutting down rainforest. If businesses do that, it is unethical. I agree to fix high prices with competitors. That's what we call what? When you agree to fix prices.
Fixed prices.
We talked about it before. When you agree to sell, that means you are collaborating. What do they call that?
Joint.
Cabal. You are creating a cabal. You are creating it's a cabal, like you're coming together to fix price. It's not monopoly.
Yeah.
It's not monopoly. We call it what do we call it? It's creating a cabal, but it's not cabal they use for it. We call it I forgot it. What do we call it when we create? And I remember I'll say it anyway. So we should not fix prices anyway with competitors. Pay directors large bonuses and owners of businesses large profit payouts at the same time as reducing the workforce. So you're thinking more about owners of the business rather than stakeholders. That's what they're talking about there.
Okay.
You think more about shareholders than stakeholders. That's the last point they make there.
Okay.
So these are all examples of ethical decisions. So that many businesses have to face up to very frequently. People can have very different answers to the questions above. This is because people have very different moral codes and therefore different ethical standards. The two most extreme views are, so before we go into this, so all these analyses are based on decisions you have to take as a business.
Yes.
Do you think it's ethical to take this stance, or it's not ethical? So it's a decision from you as a business. So that's the point they're making. But there are two extremes view. They said as long as the business does not deliberately break the law, the next decision it makes is acceptable. Business wants to make profit after all. So the first view is that as long as the business, whatever they do, is not to deliberately cause problem, they shouldn't be sanctioned or penalized for that. That's a view. Two, even if certain activities are not illegal, it is unethical and therefore wrong to do them despite any increase in profits that might occur. The second view is that even if it is not illegal, it is unethical. In as much as it is unethical, you must not do it as a business. Do you get the second point here?
Yeah.
It's about making profits. Businesses are made because they want to make profit. But if you are making profit, they shouldn't put it to the detriment of stakeholders. That is what they are saying here. So if you are putting it at the detriment of stakeholders, it is unethical.
That means that if it is illegal, it doesn't mean it's ethical.
If it is illegal,
it always doesn't mean it's ethical.
It is unethical.
If
it is illegal, it is unethical.
Yeah.
But if it is not illegal,
it's not illegal, yeah.
You might see it as ethical.
But sometimes it's not.
Do you get it? So what the line is that if government is not saying no, you shouldn't still do it. Example is child labor. Your country might not oppose it, but it is illegal. It is unethical to allow children to work.
Yes.
Though the government of the country is not saying no.
Yes.
Do you understand what they are talking about there?
Yeah.
So it's a decision about you. So how business might react and respond to ethical issues. Go down. Let's see. So the reaction of businesses to ethical issues will be based on the benefits of adapting it and the limitations to adapting it. So are you there? Scroll down, you say it.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Okay. Potential benefits of ethical decisions. So if businesses are taking on ethical decisions, one, consumers may be against buying clothing products. Okay. They are using the case study to explain, but I'm not going to use the case study. No, I'm going to explain. What are the benefits of taking ethical decisions? It increases consumers it makes consumers want to buy from you, especially consumers that are, that are conscious about ethical stance. So because they are conscious about ethical stance, they always want to buy from you. They will stop buying from businesses that are not ethical.
Yes.
That's the first point. Two, good publicity. So they talk about you have good reputation. They talk about you, word of mouth. They talk about you. They talk about your business as a business that is socially responsible. So that's the second point there.
Yeah.
And that will be done freely. You don't have to pay for that. These are what we call publicity that you don't pay for. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Normally, you are supposed to pay for publicity. But if the public, the people, start thinking good, talking good about you, this is a reputation this is a publicity that you don't pay for. It is good for your business.
Yeah.
But for you to gain that, you need to be ethical. You need to take ethical stance. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Publicity, public opinion is good. When people talk good about you, you are not paying it for free, free promotion.
Yes.
But for you to be able to gain this or benefit from free promotion of reputation, it means you have to be ethical.
Yeah.
In the long run, your profit will increase.
Yeah.
Because you won't be paying government fines. You won't be doing things. You won't have cases. You won't have court cases. You won't have anything against the society, the government. So everything will be going well for you. Yes. So in the long run, you will be able to sustain it. Do you get it?
Yes.
Some workers and investors may want to be linked to an ethical business. So some workers, you might start. Some workers and investors may want to be linked to an ethical. So what we're saying is businesses that have businesses that take ethical stance, businesses that are ethical. Investors might like them. Investors might be interested in them. People might want to work with them. Workers might want to work with them. Employees might see them as, they might be attractive to employees. Unlike businesses that are not ethical. That's the point there, which is good for the business.
Yeah.
There's less risks of legal actions being taken against the company. So a business that is ethical, so it doesn't have any problems with government. So there's not going to be court litigation with such a business.
Yes.
So what are the costs of having ethical stance? So these are the reasons why businesses would not want to be ethical. Did you get it?
Be ethical.
Will not be ethical, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
One, higher cost. Adult worker, okay, higher cost. They believe being ethical is expensive. It increases the cost of their production. So they don't want to do it. So if they have to be ethical, they have to increase prices because there's going to be high cost of production, and this has to be transferred to what they sell, because that is why they want to be ethical. So will customers be able to pay those higher prices? That's another question.
Yeah.
The third one, if consumers are only interested in low prices and not how products are made, then what's the point? Some customers do not even care about how ethical you are, how socially responsible you are. All they want is the product.
Yes.
So they don't care about how the product is being made. So what's the point? Putting effort, putting money into finding out, or putting money into what customers do not have interest in. Did you get it? Short-term profits of the company might fall. So if you are making compliance, if you are complying with ethical stance or legal, or if you are complying with being ethical, so in the short run, you're not going to make profits because you would have purchased technology, that advanced technology, you would have employed workers, you would have paid minimum wage All these things are increasing cost. So they reduce profit in the short run.
Yes.
In the long run, you enjoy it, but in the short run, it's difficult.
Yes.
It could be argued that in some countries, if children are not employed, the incomes of their families will fall to very low levels. So the argument is that those children, child labor, it's also helping the society, the family. So some families are so poor that those children need to work to support the family.
Yes.
So if we don't give them jobs, how would they be able to support their family? And you said we shouldn't employ children. Do you get the point here?
Yes.
So that's their own argument. That's why they don't want to be socially responsible. That's why they are unethical. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any question about it? Does it end there?
Yeah. It ended.
Okay. So we're going to
Business and the international economy.
chapter 29.
Yeah.